What's going on in the Atlanta real estate markets? What's going on with home values? Where are the best schools? Cleve has all the answers for you. Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show on Talk Radio 640 WGST. Now, here's Cleve Gaddis.
Welcome to another week's edition of the Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show on Talk Radio 640 WGST. I am Cleve Gaddis, your radio show host. I am accompanied in the studio by my technical producer, Alfie. How are you this morning, Alfie?
Good morning, Cleve. Glad to be back in here in the studio with you.
We appreciate you showing up every Saturday morning to help me run that board because I have no idea how to use it. Although you did tell me earlier that it's not nearly as difficult as it looks.
It's not as intimidating as people want to make it out.
From this side, what do you call this? What do you call this table that we're at?
Well, I mean, this is the board, and then the sliders are what we call pots.
Yeah. So we're just at a broadcast table. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 mics up here. It's got a video camera. It's got
a couple of monitors here.
And by the way, it's my understanding that Sean Hannity used to sit right here at this same table and do his show.
Well, they were in an old building then.
They weren't here.
I don't know if they were here yet, but I'm not. I
was all excited that I was sitting at the same.
Sean Hannity's been through here. Yep. Glenn Beck's been through here.
Glenn Beck was here live doing shows?
Glenn Beck was here, and Neil Bortz used to do shows out here.
He was on 640 before he changed. Yeah.
Correct. So there's been a lot of the big guys who have gone on to do great radio careers have come through the GST studios.
And just recently, they had awesome Spanish sports going on here.
GST for a while. I remember those months because I was at home not working.
So before we get started, a
listener
wrote in and says, hey, you say a different description of a buyer-seller's imbalance market than I've seen reported elsewhere. And when we say a market is a seller's market, we say it's because it has less than 4 months worth of inventory. We say balanced market or a neutral market is 4 or 5, and more than 5 months worth of inventory is a buyer's market. National industry experts say less than 6 months worth of inventory is a seller's market, between 6 and 7 is a neutral market, and more than 7 months is a buyer's market. The reason those numbers don't hold true is because we are in a low inventory market and we've been in it for a couple of years. And so what happens is buyer and seller expectations of the market start to drop somewhat. So when you have less than 4 months worth of inventory, we say that home prices will appreciate and it is a seller's market. When you have 4 to 5 months worth of inventory, we say it's a neutral market and home prices will only appreciate with inflation, which is less than 2%. And then we say it's a buyer's market when you have more than 5 months worth of inventory, more than 4 months worth of inventory, and home prices will depreciate. In our case, home prices will probably not depreciate when you have 5 months worth of inventory, but there will be more balanced negotiation in the transaction. We got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about which Metro Atlanta cities might have residents who ride gondolas or gondolas to work in the near future. And you heard me right. I'm talking about the same thing they have at Disney World or up the side of Stone Mountain. Want to remind everybody to apply for homestead exemption. Why does Cleve talk about this every week? Well, you've only got until April 1st to apply for homestead exemption. If you bought your home last year or in any other year and you're not sure whether or not you are taking advantage of homestead exemption, which in most cases can save you about, I would say, 15%, 10 to 15% in your property taxes, the county portion of your property taxes, and the city portion as well. There's also some other exemptions you might be entitled to. Your county tax exemption, you've got freezes for seniors, you've got senior school exemption, age 70 exemptions, disabled veterans exemptions, surviving spouses of police officers or firefighters exemptions. You've got lots of exemptions. Go to your county's website or go to Google, type in homestead exemptions, property tax exemptions, whatever you want in the name of your county, and it'll pull up your tax assessor's or your county commissioner's website, more likely your county commissioner's site, and look for property tax exemptions, and it'll give you a list of everything that is available in your area. Going to talk today about 10 best-kept secrets for selling your property. Had a listener send me a list from a Florida real estate agent, a Jacksonville, Florida real estate agent, and he wants my opinions on this agent's secrets. Going to talk about a gentleman named Rick in Duluth who's selling his mother's home, and we're going to talk about that process. Angie in Cumming wants to know if it's true that renters pay more for car insurance than homeowners. And in Georgia, unfortunately, you're not going to like the answer to that question. Joseph in Roswell says his wife and he want to buy a home, but we're scared about the market dropping like it did recently. What are my thoughts? Going to talk about a new project being launched by Google called Project Sunroof. Talk a little bit about what they've got going on that might affect the way people buy solar panels in the United States, and also might be used by the insurance industry as well. Watch out, big insurance companies. You might have some competition from Google coming up sometime soon. The lowdown in the hood segment is Brookshade. And let me see if I can find that. Yep, that's the Brookshade in Alpharetta in Fulton County, which is there at Hopewell Road north of Mayfield on the west side of 400. So if you live in Alpharetta or you live in Cherokee County, Johns Creek or Roswell, any of those areas, you want to pay attention to that segment. 3 cities near Atlanta are expected to launch a study to determine if gondolas might be a solution to growing traffic woes. Sandy Springs, Dunwoody, and Brookhaven are working together in a search for traffic-beating options, reports the Atlanta Business Chronicle's broadcast partner WXIA-TV. Sandy Springs Mayor Rusty Paul says an idea being considered is using gondolas for public transportation, at least as a short-distance connector to MARTA stations in some North Metro suburbs. Paul envisions something like the gondolas used at Stone Mountain Park. Sandy Springs and Brookhaven officials recently said they're looking into whether a monorail system might be a good way to connect their residents to MARTA as well. Monorail, gondolas, we're looking at everything, Sandy Springs Mayor Rusty Paul said. Paul estimates the construction cost for a gondola could be up to $5 million per mile. Paul says gondolas could be a great way to expand MARTA's reach and maybe even make transportation fun. If you're listening to the show today and you do not normally listen to the Sully Show every weekday from 12 to 2 right here on 640 WGST, you should. On Wednesdays, starting at 12:20, I'm a guest on the Sully Show, and we typically talk real estate, although sometimes we talk about other stuff as well. Sully Show is something I don't miss every day from 12 to 2, 640 WGST. I recommend you tune in as well. You'll enjoy it. And Alpha, you help out a little bit on that show too, don't you?
Yes, I'm the producer for that show.
You are.
Yes.
You do everything on that one, though.
Yes,
you produce
I'm
and
producing,
everything.
booking guests, running the board, technical stuff, placing the segments up on the internet site, which, for instance, if you want to hear any of Cleve's segments from past Sully shows, you can go to 640wgst.com, click on the Sully blog page, or put in the keyword Cleve or Gaddis, and it will take you right there to all of your podcasts.
I'd like to know just how bored somebody would need to be in order to spend time looking for my radio interviews on the Sully blog post.
Sometimes they're very interesting, and sometimes you don't even have to deal with real estate sometimes. Sometimes it's just some simple facts about the city or how names of cities got how certain names
we do
of cities
all
got.
Kind of
you
fun
got a whole bunch
facts.
of great interesting
That's right.
stuff.
We believe the average home seller in Atlanta sells their home for $16,000 less than they could. $16,000 is real money, so please listen up to learn how to keep your hard-earned equity when you sell your home. If you're planning to sell your Metro Atlanta home in the next 90 days, you don't need a Zestimate from Zillow or a CMA like most real estate agents would provide, or even an appraisal. You need a customized maximum value plan available exclusively from Gaddis Partners, which is a kick-butt, no-holds-barred plan for getting top dollar for your home. It's normally $799, but you can get one absolutely free of charge. That's right, for nothing. Just call in the next 5 minutes, the number 770-497-0000, and we'll prepare for you a customized maximum value plan at no charge. Remember, this is normally a $799 value. The offer is good just for the first 5 minutes, and for the people that call 770-497-0000. So don't delay. Could be a $16,000 phone call. 770-497-0000 is the number. And then I suggest you start thinking about what you're going to do with the extra $16,000. We're going to take a break. We're going to review 10 best-kept secrets for selling your home from Lee & Agent in Gainesville, and I'll give you my thoughts on each of those 10 best-kept secrets. Stick with us, and we'll be right back.
This is Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show on Talk Radio 640 WGST.
I'm not sure a song with the title Cocaine is appropriate for intro music for the Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show. Turn it up just a little bit,
Cocaine.
though. We are not promoting drug use, period.
Not. Drugs are bad.
You didn't sound like you meant that when you said it, Alfie.
I did say it. Cocaine is really bad, kids. Stay in school.
Turn it up just a little bit. You don't like cocaine? I've never sang on the radio before, Alfie.
Hey,
how did it sound?
Sounded great.
All right.
Keep that for the Georgia Radio Hall of Fame.
If you've just joined us, you're listening to the Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show right here on Talk Radio 640 WGST. We're actually celebrating the music of Eric Clapton this week. For those of you who are regular listeners of the show, you know that I love Eric Clapton. And Alfie and I, for the last 4 weeks, have been featuring the artists of different music on each radio show, and we hope you enjoy listening to that music as we come back to
and we're taking your requests. We're taking your requests. Go
That's
to
true.
Go to Cleve's website and put in your request.
You can do that. You can go to Facebook. You can
Twitter.
You can connect with me on Twitter at Cleve Gaddis, CleveGaddis, or you can call 770-497-0000 or go to gogaddis.com, GOGADDIS, and we are taking requests, and we will play the music you want us to play on a future show. This segment is brought to you by John Birchfield and Brand Mortgage. John makes it his mission to guide each home buyer step by step through the entire loan process so they are educated and confident in the mortgage options available and can make the best decisions along the way. John can be reached by calling 678-226 7887, 678-226-7887. Got an email from a listener. It says, I've attached the 10 best kept secrets for selling your property from Lee in Gainesville. Oh, excuse me. Lee lives in Gainesville, Georgia, and he sent a link to an article by Ron Schiappa, Schiappa, who is a real estate agent in Jacksonville, Florida. And I apologize. I think as we took the break, I said that the agent's name was Lee in Gainesville, and it's not. It's Ron Schiappa, an agent in Jacksonville, Florida. And anyway, let's review his best kept secrets. I'm going to read the first one to you. It sounds to me to be kind of wimpy, if you ask me. Says, number one, pricing it right. Says, find out what your home is worth, then shave 10 to 15% off that price. You'll be stampeded with buyers with multiple bids, even in the worst markets, and they'll bid up the price over what it's worth. It takes real courage, and most sellers just don't want to risk it, but it's a single best strategy to sell a home in today's market. Now, I hope Ron, the agent in Jacksonville, is not listening to this show, because to me, that's a very weak way for a pricing strategy. And it sounds to me like he's trying to let the market do the work for him. And you need to make sure you have a good, solid marketing program. Now, I'm not saying if you have a value range of, for example, $20,000, it might be worth $190 or it might be worth $210. I'm not saying it's not a bad strategy to price the home at $200,000. But what I am saying is if you think it's worth $200,000, you better not be taking $20,000 or $30,000 off the price when you get started, because ultimately you might wish you hadn't done that. So I give that. Do you have a buzzer sound? I give that one a buzzer sound for pricing it right. Drop it 10 to 15%. His second best kept. Oh, that's the
Law and Order.
Yeah, Law and Order. I like that. That's a good show. The next tip he has, or the best kept secret, is the first impression is the only impression. No matter how good the interior of your home looks, buyers have already judged your home before they walk through the door. You never have a second chance to make a first impression. That is absolutely, positively right. That thing better shine like a new diamond ring from the street. If you've just If you've just joined us, you're listening to the Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show on Talk Radio 640 WGST. We are reviewing the 10 best kept secrets to selling your home from an agent, Ron Schiappa, Schiappa, in Jacksonville, Florida. These best kept secrets were sent to us by a listener named Lee in Gainesville, Georgia, who wanted my opinion on these best kept secrets. Number 3, light it up. Take down the drapes, clean the windows, change the lampshades, increase the wattage of your light bulbs, and cut the bushes outside to let in sunshine. And that is A-OK, absolutely right. You definitely need to do that. Number 4, play the agent field. Make sure you have a broker who is totally informed. They must constantly monitor multiple listing service, know what properties are going on the market, and know the comps in your neighborhood. Find a broker who embraces technology. A tech-savvy one has many tools to get your house sold. I would say, yes, that is correct, but I want to add you need to hire somebody with some guts. You need to hire somebody that's willing to do the right things to help you push the value of your price, value of your home as high as the market will allow. Best kept secret number 5, conceal the critters, and he doesn't mean the mice or the squirrels in the attic. He's saying you might think a cuddly dog would warm the hearts of potential buyers, but you'd be wrong. And sometimes, by the way, you would be right, but nonetheless, you need to make sure that any pets you have do not cause a distraction. Went into a home one time and they had a big bunch of aquariums in a bedroom, and each one of those aquariums had a snake in it. And that was not fun for me or my client. Also went in the basement of a home in Johns Creek one time before, and I swear they had a small shark in a swimming pool in their basement. It'd be anything I've ever seen. And the issue is when you have something like that that's distracting, the buyer doesn't pay any attention to the house. All they do is pay attention to the issue at hand. Number 6, don't over upgrade. You probably won't get your money back if you do a huge improvement before you put your home on the market. Instead, do updates that will pay off and get top dollar. I agree with that. How do you know what those items are? Call 770-497-0000 or go to gogaddis.com, GOGADDIS, and I would, or a member of my team would be happy to come out and help you work through a plan to make the best decisions to maximize value when selling your home. Number 7, take the home out of your house. One of the most important things to do when selling your house is to depersonalize it. The more personal stuff in your house, the less potential buyers can imagine themselves living there. And look at it this way. I agree with what he's saying, but I don't absolutely agree with it 100%. Because sometimes you have some family pictures, but because of where they are, they tell a story about how that area is used because of the way they're laid out on the wall or something like that. And I don't mean 500 photo frames going up the stairs in your family room, Mom, which, by the way, are beautiful, but they don't help you sell your house. But so you just need to make sure that you don't have something on the walls or anything anywhere else that actually is an emotional distraction for the buyer. Because once they stop and start to focus on your stuff instead of focusing on the home, you start to lose the battle. Number 8, the kitchen comes first. You're not actually selling your home, you're selling your kitchen, and boy, that sure is true. Number 9, half-empty closets. Take half your stuff out of your closets and then neatly organize what's left. That is absolutely true. You want people to be able to see half the floor and half of all the walls behind each one of your shelves. And number 10, always be ready to show. Your house needs to be show ready at all times. You never know when your buyer's going to walk through the door, and that is absolutely true as well. Real quickly, we met with a gentleman named Rick who had a home he needed to sell for his mother who had gone into a nursing home in Duluth. Unfortunately, Rick's mother passed away several weeks after we met, had a fall, and unfortunately at her age was not able to, I think she developed pneumonia and was not able to recover. And we helped Rick work through the entire process of what he needs to do to balance his investment in the home with getting the greatest return. Initially, he needed the money so his mother would have as much money as possible to be able to take care of her for an extended period of time. We worked with Rick for like 4 months on and off, getting the home ready to sell. We just listed it for him the other day, and my guess is that we won't be able to get Rick $16,000 more than he would have otherwise gotten for that home. My guess is we will probably get close closer to $25,000 more than he would have gotten otherwise. So that customized maximum value stuff, that is for real. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to answer a question for Angie in Cumming, who wants to know, is it true if renters pay more for car insurance than homeowners? Can't possibly be true. Stick with us, and we'll answer that question right after the break.
This is Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show on Talk Radio 640 WGST. Now, here's Cleve Gaddis.
Welcome back to the Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show right here on Talk Radio 640 WGST. We are broadcasting from Buckhead, from Palisades. What's the name of the building, Alfie?
Peachtree Palisades.
Peachtree Palisades East. And today, Alfie, my producer, and I are featuring the sounds of Eric Clapton. And if you've listened to the show in the past, you know this is one of my favorite songs. So we're going to listen to it for just a minute. Turn it up, Alfie.
Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally. No need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you.
I like it. I like it. This segment of the show is brought to you by the law firm of O'Kelly and Sorahan. They're a full-service law firm with 17 offices throughout Metro Atlanta. I bet Joe O'Kelly likes Eric Clapton as well, don't you?
I think so.
Joe's kind of cool, right?
He seems like a laid-back kind of dude.
His firm specializes in residential real estate closings, including home purchases, refinance closings, corporate relocation, and real estate contract review and title insurance matters. They can be reached by calling 770-497-1880. 770-497-1880. Going to start out this segment by answering a question for Angie in Cumming. She says, is it true that renters pay more for car insurance than homeowners? And the answer to the question is no, as long as you live in California. California is one of the few states that has laws that prohibit insurance companies from changing car insurance premiums based on a person's homeownership status. But an article from Realtor.com magazine says a new study finds that auto insurance is higher for renters than homeowners. A study by the nonprofit Consumer Federation of America finds that major auto insurance companies charge good drivers up to 47% more for basic liability auto insurance if they don't own a home. Now, I know you were thinking to yourself, there is no flipping way that can be true, but it is true. Premiums average 7% higher, or about $112 more per year for drivers who are renters rather than homeowners, the CFA found. And again, that's the Consumer Federation of America. The CFA argues that the use of home ownership status by auto insurance companies burdens low and moderate income good drivers, and I would have to agree with that. The CFA study analyzed rates for minimum limits and liability coverage in 10 cities from the nation's largest insurance companies. Researchers found differences among the cities examined. For example, in Louisville, Kentucky, renters were charged 47% more, an additional $768 more than homeowners for basic auto insurance. And this was, for an example, a policy from Farmers Insurance. On the other hand, in Oakland, California, all companies charge the same premium to good drivers, whether they were renters or homeowners. That is because California has a consumer protection law in place that prevents auto insurance companies from weighing a person's home ownership status or other socioeconomic factors when setting premiums. Instead, the driving safety record, annual mileage, and years of driving experience must be factored in. So if you rent a home and you're in Georgia, you could very well be paying more for your automobile insurance than you would if you were a homeowner. If you've just joined us, you're listening to the Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show on Talk Radio 640 WGST. I'm Cleve Gaddis, your radio show host, full-time real estate agent and broker and salesperson with a team full of agents helping buyers, sellers, investors, and landlords make the best decisions possible in buying, selling, or investing in real estate all throughout Metro Atlanta. Just got a text from somebody and says, what type of return should I expect if I invest in investment real estate? And my answer to that question is you should accept nothing less than a 10% annual return on investment, and it can be done just about all day long if you have somebody helping you who really knows how to analyze those investments, and you want to have either you need to have the ability to manage that property very well and deal with the tenant, or you need to have a great property management company. If you need help with finding an investment property to give you a 10% return or more, certainly not guaranteed, but we have a very high success record with our clients. Call 770-497-0000, and we will get you with one of our agents who specializes in that area. Got a question. My wife, this is from Joseph in Roswell, says, my wife and I want to buy a home, but we're scared about the market dropping like it did recently. What are your thoughts? And if he means like it did recently, meaning drop 54% over a 3-year period, Joseph, I don't think there's much of a chance of that happening. I do, however, think that we all need to be aware that it is possible for the home values throughout the United States to slip backwards. It had not happened before 2008. Now, they had remained flat. They had downward pressure on them, but they had never really slipped backwards until 2008. And then in the city of Atlanta, boy, bam, down 54%. In a 3 or 4 year period. Right now, inventory is low, Joseph, and there is not as many homes out there in the market as we need. And you're saying, what do you mean? Well, for 4 years, we built basically nothing in Atlanta, and the population continued to expand. So at one point, I had estimated that we were about 90,000 housing units behind condos, townhomes, single-family homes, apartments, for the growth in population in Atlanta. And as long as we have less inventory than we have need in the market, values will continue to stay stable and probably will continue to rise in that area. Atlanta is unusually well positioned because Atlanta continues to attract a lot of new jobs to the area. So we are constantly relocating. As an example, Mercedes-Benz is moving their North American headquarters to Atlanta, and we continue to be a desirable place for corporate entities to move and relocate their employees. So as long as we have population continuing to rise, we have income continuing to move in the right direction, I think that the city of Atlanta will be a stable place for you or anyone you know to invest in real estate. Alfie, it's my understanding that you have another testimonial that has come in since our last show that you'd like to share with us. And by the way, I appreciate you doing this, Alfie.
Oh, our pleasure is all mine, Cleve. This is from Meredith in Stone Mountain, and she writes, we felt extremely comfortable in the process of selling our house and buying a new one with Gaddis Partners. They addressed our concerns and handled the process with true professionalism. Quick call backs with any questions we had, and the continued service after the process was completed. It was pretty amazing to hear once our house was listed, he could have it sold within 60 days. However, that process took less than a week. That experience is the reason why we recommend Gaddis Partners to those who are looking to buy or sell.
And I remember meeting Meredith. I remember the like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And she and her husband and her cute little boy lived in an area of Atlanta that had some real downward pressure on house prices during the recession and had not had a lot of upward movement in pricing after the market had recovered. But they had a gym basically right in the middle of a less than desirable area. And so we had to work hard to put together the plan, and we were able to get them probably $17,000 or $18,000 more than they believed that the house was worth. And we were able to negotiate for them a fabulous deal on a home in another area of Atlanta with a great school district, and they were absolutely delightful to work with. We were able to get multiple buyers interested in purchasing their home, and I think it's just because we used that customized maximum value plan. We knew exactly what our comparables were. We reached outside of the area to get a little better comparables that were a little higher prices to understand how high can we push the price and still get it to appraise. Now, Meredith and her husband, they also did a fantastic job keeping the house in great shape. They were absolutely 100% partners with us as we worked to make this a reality for them. And Alfie, one of the most exciting things about being in the real estate business is that we touch people's lives so personally, and we're able to make a significant difference in every single day after we help them buy or sell a new home. So we consider it a privilege, and if you're listening and you'd like us to help you, 770-497-0000 is the number to call. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to feature Brookshade in Alpharetta off of Hopewell Road in our Lowdown on the Hood segment. And we're going to talk about Google's Project Sunroof and how you've got Big Brother spying on you. Stick with us, and we'll be right back.
I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy.
This is Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show on Talk Radio 640 WGST.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. You're listening to the fourth segment on this Saturday of the Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show on Talk Radio 640 WGST. My man Alfie, my producer, and I are broadcasting from Peachtree Palisades East at the very southern end of Buckhead, although I think they're stretching it somewhat to call it as part of Buckhead. We're just south from Piedmont Hospital.
Right.
We appreciate you joining us on this Saturday morning, and we're listening to Eric Clapton. Let's listen to him just a little bit more.
I shot the sheriff, but I swear it was in self-defense.
You think it was self-defense, Alfie?
If Eric Clapton says it was self-defense,
You're going to believe him?
I'm going to believe the guy. Anyone who plays guitar that tremendously.
You
How
say
can-
he's in your top two,
He's
top
in my
three,
top five.
top five
guitar players
top
of all
five.
time.
I don't have a list. I only have one favorite guitar player, and her name is Claire Gaddis, my daughter, and she is my favorite guitar player
Well,
ever.
when's she gonna
Taught
come- when's she-
herself to play the guitar.
When's she going to come in here and play for us?
Oh, I don't know what she's in Miami now,
No.
going to school. She can't come up here and play for us.
Did she play? She go to University of Miami?
She's going to Florida International University.
Nice.
In Miami. Yeah, she's loving it.
Where is
she's
that
loving
at?
it. It's in Miami, just
cool.
west of Miami.
She liking it so
She's
far?
loving it. She's loving it. Yep. If you've just joined us, you're listening to the Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show on Talk Radio 640 WGST. We believe that the average home seller in Atlanta sells their home for $16,000 less than they could, and $16,000 is some real money. So please listen up to learn how to keep your hard-earned equity when you sell your home. After all, it is your money. It's like putting money in a savings account and then making bad decisions when you sell your house and winding up with less money in your savings account than you've put in there over the years. If you're planning to sell your Metro Atlanta home in the next 90 days, you don't need a Zestimate from Zillow or a CMA like most real estate agents would provide, or even an appraisal. You need a customized maximum value plan, which is a kick-butt, no-holds-barred plan for getting top dollar for your home. It's normally $799, but you can get one at absolutely no charge. That's right. You can get one for free. How? Just call in the next 5 minutes. The phone number is 770-497-0000, and we'll prepare for you a customized maximum value plan at no charge. I grew up in the direct sales business, teaching people to sell vacuum cleaners. So coming up with a kick-butt, no-holds-barred plan for getting your home sold for top dollar is right up my alley. Remember, this is normally a $799 value. The offer is good just for the next 5 minutes for those who call 770-497-0000. So don't delay. It could be a $16,000 phone call. And wouldn't that be a valuable phone call? Again, call 770-497-0000. And then I suggest you start thinking about what you're going to do with the extra $16,000. Each week we spotlight one specific Metro Atlanta neighborhood to call out critical changes in market pricing and discuss other important market information to help you identify unique opportunities in that specific area. This week we're highlighting the neighborhood Brookshade, which is west of 400 on Hopewell Road in Alpharetta, north of Mayfield. In that subdivision, which contains about 140 homes, the highest average sales price was set in 2008 when average sales prices were $672,000. There were 4 homes sold that year. By 2010, the average sales price had dropped to $474,000, or dropped 29%, or $174,000 on average, to $474,600. By 2015, prices had recovered to $618,000, not all the way back to where they were in 2008, but there were 9 homes sold in the neighborhood that year. So prices dropped 29% and have risen 23% from that low. So if we said that the price of an average home in that neighborhood is represented by the number 100 in 2008, by 2010, the average value had dropped to a 71, but by 2015, the average value has recovered to a 92. There are currently 3 homes on the market for sale, range from a low asking price of $549,000 to a high ask price of $628,000. There are 4 months worth of supply on the market, which means if you take the number of sales that have happened in that neighborhood in the last 12 months and you divide that by 12, you determine how many homes are selling each month, and then you take the number 3, which is the number of active listings in the neighborhood, and divide it by the average number of homes that have sold and closed per month for the last year. You come up with 4 months worth of inventory, and that says that we're at the very low end of a balanced market. For those of you who need some reminding, if you have less than 4 months worth of inventory, we say it is a seller's market. Seller has more sway in the negotiations. If you have 4 or 5 months worth of inventory, we say it's a balanced market. And if you have more than 5 months worth of inventory, we say it is a buyer's market. There's about 140 homes in the neighborhood. We say that homeowner equity in that neighborhood has increased $19.8 million. So the 140 people who own homes in that neighborhood are enjoying $19.8 million more in equity now than they had in 2010. The elementary school is Summit Hill, the middle school is Hopewell, and the high school is Cambridge. Cambridge gets a school chimp rating of 88. If you'd like the lowdown on your own neighborhood, our free market snapshot is just what the doctor ordered. It's really like getting a monthly bank statement on your home's value emailed right to your inbox every single month, and getting one is easy. Just sign up now at GoGaddis.com. That's GoGaddis.com. Just click on the Home Values and ATL tab. It'll take less than 30 seconds and will ensure you are the local smarty about what's going on in your neighborhood. I assure you, your neighbors will be jealous because you'll always be the first to know. Just go to GoGaddis.com. That's GoGaddis.com. Hey, Alfie.
Yes, sir.
Are you ever amazed at the amount of data that is available out there on the internet?
Yeah, you can find anything anywhere now.
And for the last 10 years, data hasn't been very intelligent, meaning people couldn't do a whole lot with data on the internet. But Google has some plans to change that. Question is, does Project Sunroof give us a glimpse of how Google will disrupt the insurance market? Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine if they can project insurance claims and all kinds of information about your house and start to compete with other big insurance companies? It's worth looking at the company's Project Sunroof. If you want to go to do some research, you can go to Google, which is funny. You go to Google to research Google and just type in the words Project Sunroof. The project uses exceptionally sophisticated mapping data to determine which homeowners would most benefit from solar panels, and in the process may provide some insight into how Google might be approaching the insurance industry. Big data is the term commonly used, but data isn't very interesting while knowledge is. The size of the database doesn't matter. What matters is using developments in technology to look in the right places to find the right data. They answer the right questions so that revelations emerge. Google is modeling the world in 3 dimensions and using that model to generate information house by house based on totally personalized criteria, on the square footage of the roof that would be available for solar panels, on the amount of cloud cover that's expected to obscure the sun above the house, on the effectiveness of the sunlight that will hit the roof, incorporating calculations based on temperature and how the angle of the sun changes each day, and on any shade that would be cast on the panels from any other structures. Can you imagine if they start to develop some sophisticated modeling software that can project which homes will be benefited by installing solar panels, the kind of information they could gather about the size of the home and the roof and the age of the roof and all that kind of stuff, and they might very well decide they want to compete in the insurance industry. If you are listening and you don't want to monkey around with your kids' education or the impact schools have on home values, you might want to download a free school chimp report. Just visit GoGaddis.com. A school chimp report on a local high school provides the most comprehensive rating system available today and includes all the other demographic information you'd like to know about a particular school district, like the percentage of homeowners and renters, the average household income, the educational attainment by parents, the average sales prices for the last 8 years. School Chimp is free, and you can download a School Chimp report available at GoGaddis.com. My name is Cleve Gaddis, your radio show host. I appreciate you listening to another week's episode or edition of the Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show. I'll be back here next Saturday at 9:06 a.m., and I look forward to talking to you then.